Hello, my lovelies. This is Alex with another pep talk for you. This week, we're heading into Thanksgiving and the holidays, and that's challenging. It's challenging on a normal year, let alone a year like this. So, I wanted to invite you to a holiday related grief group that we're starting up at Oakland. Just very short, about a half hour, to talk about our feelings we're having around stress, anxiety, fear, depression, all these different feelings that might be brought up by the holiday season. So we're having one this Thursday before Thanksgiving, and then we'll have one on Friday, December 4th after Thanksgiving. Just a way for us to check in with each other and take good care of each other. If you can't make those, I invite you to contact the caring committee or worship associates so that you can reach out and talk to someone. And then there's lots of other opportunities to talk to folks, and I'll post some of those down in the show notes as well. I also wanted to say real quick that one of the reasons why it's stressful this year is because we're starting to see COVID numbers go back up. We're seeing a new spike. And one study I saw today showed that about a third of all Americans are planning on having some sort of large family gathering for Thanksgiving or the holidays. And that stresses me out a little bit. That news might stress you out as well. I know a few folks who've been working really hard on isolating and being careful and taking tests and things like that. And that's all good. And there are folks who aren't doing that, and that's making me a little nervous as well. But as I've been thinking about this and processing it, I've been thinking a lot about our values as Unitarian Universalists, particularly through our whole lives, which is the human sexuality curriculum that is offered by the UUA and the United Church of Christ, that is grounded in science and values and is comprehensive and age appropriate. I went through OWL, I now teach OWL, and I've been thinking about how OWL has prepared me for the pandemic. Now, COVID is obviously not a sexually transmitted infection, but there are some aspects to public health and safety that we've learned through the AIDS epidemic and other STIs. So here are a few of the values that we talk about in OWL that I feel like applies to COVID. So one, we work with the assumption that all people are valuable and have inherent worth and dignity and are owed respect and kindness. We have an obligation to care for our own bodies as well as the bodies of the people that we interact with. When interacting with each other, with our friends and family and the wider community, consent is crucial. And the thing about consent is that it is ongoing. It is an ongoing conversation, and it is revocable at any time. So it's important for us to think about what our deal breakers and deal makers are and communicate that with the people that we're interacting with. And if people aren't respecting your deal makers or deal breakers, it's okay to leave. It's okay to ask people to leave. It's okay to renegotiate where your consent lies. It's also important for us to do risk assessment and mitigation. So understanding what risks are worth taking and which are not, and understanding that people have different definitions of what a worthwhile risk is or is not. And so that goes back to that conversation about consent. What are you willing to do and what are you not willing to do? We also talk about communication about your status. So getting regularly tested if you're interacting with people. The science has come so quickly in just the last 9 months. Tests are faster, easier, less uncomfortable. I know that UC Davis is starting a spit-based test, and that's going to make things a lot easier and a lot faster. Making sure that you get a quick test, which have become a lot more accurate. And then also isolating once you do have your test so that you don't accidentally catch it again or after thinking that you're negative, becoming positive. Um, and then if we're going to have interactions, knowing how to protect yourself and each other. So things like masks, washing your hands, hand sanitizer, social distancing, these are all really important ways to mitigate passing the virus. And then we also talk about avoiding peer pressure and bullying in our relationships. As I said, people have different ideas of what is safe and what is a worthwhile risk. So if someone is pressuring you into taking off your mask or giving someone a hug, uh, that is not respecting your person, your autonomy, your agency, or your consent. And so if you feel like you're being pressured into doing things that you don't want to do at Thanksgiving or at Christmas or any other holidays, it's totally okay to excuse yourself or to uninvite someone. And I know that's hard. It's super duper hard. But we're going to do all these things to take care of each other. We're going to live our values into caring for ourselves and our family and our friends and our neighbors and our communities. And we're going to support each other when things get hard. And that is what is going to save us. We're hoping a vaccine comes soon, but in the meantime, we're going to think hard and do hard things about taking care of each other. That's what we're about. That's the saving grace of Unitarian Universalism, that we're all counting on taking care of each other. So be well, do good work, take care of each other. I'll have a new pep talk for you next week going into Thanksgiving. And know that I'm really, really proud of you and I love you. Until we meet again, have a good week.